Hello, and welcome to the June 2026 forecast. We are starting this month with beautiful energy. We have Venus, we have Jupiter in Cancer. They will conjoin together around the 9th, and this is one of the most beautiful aspects we can ask for. This is the aspect where we are getting the emotional support, we are getting the emotional well-being from the planet of the love and business and the planet of growth. What we can ask more. So this is the time to be social, to be grateful for what we have and who we are. Behind the scenes, Mercury moves to Cancer as well, and when it moves to Cancer, it starts to square to Neptune and to Saturn. So at the same time, we might be a little bit like, what's going on in my life? And we might be unsure what's going on in our lives, but no worries. Use this first half of the month for any negotiations, any launches, anything like that, because Mercury will be preparing for its retrograde that starts at the end, also in the sign of Cancer, so it is a lot about the family. The second half of the month, it intensifies. Venus moves to Leo, Jupiter moves to Leo, so we are focusing on ourselves more. It is making it more intense. We are proud, we are active, we want to express ourselves. Mars moves to Gemini, where Uranus is already, and they will meet. Historically, when they meet, we usually have intensification of the conflicts all around the world. Now, this time, if you feel like you are anxious, you are scared, because we can get the overload, the Gemini and Uranus and Gemini together with Mars, the planet of activity and movement, we might be overloaded with the information, with the negativity, with the catastrophic news. So make sure that you take care of yourself, of your nervous system, tap into your moon sign, and really take care of yourself. Cut off this negative information if you can. Turn off the news, don't watch the news, don't watch the social media or podcasts that are only keeping you in the cycle of the negativity, the catastrophic news, everything is going wrong, right? That kind of a message. Mercury prepares for a retrograde, I mentioned that, so if you have any contracts, any negotiations, you can try to close those things in the first half of the month. And in a general, let's get to the details of this month. The first half is more gentle, the second half is more intense. Before we get into the details of this forecast, I would like to invite you to a completely free webinar that is scheduled this Friday, May 29th. And we will be looking into the astrology of 2026 up until 2028. You probably already have heard that this is the now or never moment we are living right now. And I would like to make sure that you know how to move with that energy, how to move consciously and align with the new reality, with the new vibration. That is what is this webinar about. Now, to register yourself to that webinar, go into the description of this video, into the caption. There is a link where you can register yourself. Completely free. See you there. Now let's get to the details. Let's have a look at the events of this month. The first half of the month is much more gentle, much more loving, and this is the time that I really invite you to use to spend with your loved ones, to take a little bit of a breath. I know this year is turbulent. So the first half, let's use it. We have positive things like Venus conjunction Jupiter around the 9th. That is beautiful. This is not a month with eclipses or big clashes, but either way we have big changes, which I will get to. Starting with Mercury that moves to Cancer, and I already mentioned that it will square Neptune and Saturn. This is the feeling of we don't know what's going on in life, but at the same time we have Venus, we have Jupiter, we have Mercury in Cancer, so this is a gentle communication. This is the focus on the family, of spending time, of social time with your loved ones, with having emotional support and having that really valuable time building the close relationships, building the relationships, putting your efforts in the relationships and growing together. This is nice, gentle, lovely, kind, close energy with other people. Now Venus moves to Leo, and Venus in Leo is more about ourselves. We want to focus on ourselves. We want to express warm, enthusiastic. Venus feels good there. Venus feels good in Leo. But we might feel like we want to be in the center of the stage. We want to have this affection as well. And the new moon in the Gemini, this is new moon that is gentle, that is kind. Now, the big changes, let's move to the big changes. Chiron in Taurus, after 7 years in Aries, it moves to Taurus. And Chiron in Aries, from the relationship perspective, was a lot about me, myself, and I. This is the Aries. Chiron is the wound, the deep wound that we are working with. So what it brought to the surface for us, for many of my clients, if not to say all of them, was narcissistic, toxic relationships. That we were the toxic people, we were focused on ourselves, we were not connecting, we were not creating the community, we were isolated with the social media. But also, we were a victim of the narcissist as a toxic boss. A lot of people, a lot of my clients actually have that kind of experience. That last years, they were a victim of a toxic, narcissistic boss, but also close relationship. So this is a lot about getting out of that cycle of being a victim, of having low esteem, of having low confidence in ourselves, of not believing in ourselves, in our skill set so much to actually say no to those people that were using us on many different levels. And I think that this is what that Chiron in Aries was a lot about. Now it moves to Taurus, so we will be having the reflection about our connection. Taurus is all about money, resources, manifestation. This is the sign of real 3D manifestor. This is the resources, the assets. So speculating, it might be connected to our attachment to money, to our value be attached to the money, the amount of the money that we have. And if this is really what is the life about? This is about the awareness of the money worth, of what is really important in life, of how we see ourselves, if we see ourselves through the lenses of what we actually have or not. It might be connected to the financial system that is created in a way that we are in a constant anxiety, we are in a constant debt, in poverty, and we trusted other people to manage our money, like governments, but we are not getting the return on this investment. And it might be a lot about that next year's. Now, the next big shift here is the Mars in a Gemini, and you probably already saw a lot about that because Mars will meet Uranus there, and historically that was the intensification of the conflicts that we had. If we look back, it was the time of the World War II, and those were the moments where that war intensified, but also those big events and even brutal, it started many years of the peace. So here it might be the intensification of the conflict. So if you are scared, and if that second half of that month will make you anxious, will make you scared, will make you being afraid of different stuff. Make sure you tap into yourself, cut off from the negativity, watching news, watching podcasts that are fatalists or catastrophic, social media, and so on. Try to focus your energy into the positivity, because Gemini is also the sign of the connections. It is the sign of how we connect. Uranus is a lot of breakthroughs. So it might be the breakthrough in how we communicate, in AI, in digitalization, in information. That might be the case here. And the other big thing is the Mercury retrograde that starts this month. And as usually with Mercury retrograde, this one is actually in Cancer. So it might be a lot about the family, how we protect our energy, Cancer is a lot about the protection of ourselves and a lot about the protection of our energy. So this might be of the way how we think, how we communicate, and you might be during the time like, I'm gonna think about it. If something comes up, you might be, okay, I'm gonna think this through. So and by the end of the month, something might be coming up for you, and you might really shift your mind. But either way, be aware that usually during the Mercury retrograde, it might be a little bit chaotic. Communication might work a little bit differently, and there is a chance of a little bit of miscommunication. So slow down, calm down, read if you need to sign any contracts, you need to have any negotiations, all that stuff. Calm down, slow down, look through that 3 times, go with that contract to a lawyer, let other people to check if all is good, and slow down and really look at the details, because devil is in the details. It might be that also some exes, some past relationships might be coming back with a message for you during that time. This is close energy. Cancer is the protector, but it also is fluctuation of the sensitivity, emotions. So you might feel like you are a little bit changing and you are a little bit more emotional during that time. And a full moon in Capricorn will not be that nice as a new moon in Gemini. It will be much more difficult energy, also because of what is going on behind the scenes with Mars and Gemini already. And then Jupiter moves to Leo as the last thing, and this is not a bad thing. Jupiter in Leo wants to be recognized. It is creative. It is freely expressing the vitality and improving and growth. This is a good position. However, it will be in opposition to Pluto. So this is what I mentioned, that we might need to be working with the authorities, especially someone who has authority over us, and it might be a boss. It might be the work that we are doing with our bosses, with the narcissists, with the toxic bosses, where there will be some kind of power struggle where you want to be yourself, you want to express yourself. Jupiter in Leo is growth, it is improvement, it is expansion of yourself. And Pluto in Aquarius, in opposition to that, might be the authorities, the bosses, people that want to have control over you. Pluto is control, want to have control over you. But overall, to summarize,